What happened in Minnesota is a tragedy, and people are really upset. Nobody's talking about the actual analysis of excessive use of force. I'm not going to analyze this for you. I just want to tell you the law. And from that, you can analyze whether you believe this officer used excessive use of force or did not. Excessive use of force is controlled by a case called Graham, Graham, and what the courts call the Graham factors. There are 3 factors that are analyzed in light of what a reasonable officer would do in that position. And we cannot nitpick the facts. We can't look back with 20/20 vision and see what the facts are. It's a reasonable officer under these 3 factors. And the third is the most important. The first factor is the severity of the crime that's alleged. Minor crime equals minor force. Major crime equals major force. And this is a balancing test with these 3 factors. So if you are just walking away from an officer and the officer says stop and you're walking slowly, that's very, very different than you turning around yelling at them with a gun in your hand, right? Minor crimes, minor force. Major crimes, major force. The second factor is whether someone is actively resisting or fleeing. If an officer tells you to stop, or the officer is trying to put you under arrest and you are physically, actively resisting, or you're trying to go away and not be with this officer who is ordering you to stop, if it's a lawful order, that's a factor as well. You shouldn't actively resist, physically resist, and you shouldn't flee. That's a second factor. Number 3 is the level of threat to the officer, and courts over and over again have said this is the most important factor. Is the officer being attacked? Is the officer in fear for their life? Is a weapon being used? Cars are considered weapons. A lot of damage can happen with a car. I've been hit by a car, but as a pedestrian. It wasn't even very fast, and I had back surgery that altered my life forever. The level of threat is the most important factor. If it's a car, are they struck or dragged by the car? Those are all, that is really the most important factor, the level of threat. And of course, if there's weapons, in other cases, yes, that plays into it as well. If an officer is threatened with a weapon. That's the law for you. It's a balancing test between the threat, which is the most important, the level of severity of the crime allegedly committed, and whether there's active resisting or fleeing. Analyze as you will.